Hi, my name is Bobby Klug, Executive Director of the Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce, and you're watching the Chamber of Commerce Luncheon Spotlight. Each month, our Chamber of Commerce holds its monthly luncheon on the first Tuesday of each month, and it gives us an opportunity to talk with and meet with several businesses throughout our community through a program we call Two for Tuesday. This month, we're happy to have the Somerset-Pulaski Morning Rotary Club and Mr. Chris Short, and also the Adonta Group with Miss Kelly Joplin. Also, each month, we pride ourselves on bringing in some of the best speakers the state of Kentucky has to offer. We're very honored to have Dr. Michael Benson, new president of Eastern Kentucky University, as our speaker this month.
Welcome to the February Chamber of Commerce monthly luncheon. I'd like to welcome everybody for coming out today. We've got a great crowd, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Also, just to reiterate, I want to thank Via Media for being here today. In case you don't know and you weren't here last month, this is being filmed and will be televised. We have brokered a deal, our chamber has, with Via Media, and we are very honored to be working with them for 2014. All of our chamber luncheons are going to be on television, so make sure to tune in. It's channels 8 and 19, and they're going to be on there in primetime spots. So please, tell your friends if they've not been here to look for those. It's really, it's a great way to find out what's going on in our business community without even being here today. But we love that everybody is here today. The weather's finally broke a little bit, and I'm glad to see that our crowds are back. We missed everybody last month. We have two for Tuesday speakers this month, and they always come up, and if this is something any of your businesses can participate in, they have a couple of minutes to talk about their businesses, something going on. Our first Two for Tuesday for the month of February from Somerset-Pulaski County Morning Rotary Club, Mr. Ben Robertson.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ben Robertson, and I am with the Somerset-Pulaski Morning Rotary Club. And this afternoon, I wanted to give you some information on one of my favorite events of the year that's coming up. The 14th Annual International Dinner is going to be held here at the Center for Rural Development Saturday, March the 1st at 6 o'clock. International Dinner is one of the most popular charitable evening events here in Somerset and sells out quickly. This is our 14th year of the event, as I mentioned. It started off with just a handful of countries represented, and now we've grown to about 30 countries that cook for our International Dinner. There's nowhere else in this area that you can spend an evening talking with natives and sampling food from literally all over the world. Just to give you some of the examples of countries that we have represented at our International Dinner, we have European countries such as Ireland, Turkey, and France, African countries such as Ethiopia, Kenya, Libya, and Uganda, Asian countries such as Taiwan, Pakistan, India, and Iran, and North and South American countries such as Cuba, Mexico, Argentina, and Panama. Proceeds from our dinner are used to fund projects both here locally and internationally. A recent example of a project that we've used International Dinner funds for was last fall with the typhoons in the Philippines. Our Rotary Club donated $5,000 worth of shelter boxes, which are disaster recovery tents and emergency aid, to the disaster-stricken areas in the Philippines. More locally, we use the funds to build numerous wheelchair ramps and to support various projects in the community. Tickets for the dinner are available now, and we have table sponsorship, which is full table or half table, and also individual tickets too. And if you'd like some more information or to get some tickets, myself and Brian Dopp will be at the table here to the right following the luncheon. Thank you.
Adonta Behavioral Health Services was recently awarded a grant from Dartmouth College and Johnson & Johnson Corporation. Our project partners include the University of Kentucky Human Development Institute, the Kentucky Department of Behavioral Health, and the Department for Vocational Rehabilitation. The Dartmouth grant focuses on improving recovery for those who have a severe mental illness through a concept called supportive employment. Research conducted by Department Psychiatric Research Center found that those individuals who were working in the community recovered faster from mental illness than any other single thing, more than therapy, case management, or medication alone. Supported employment helps people with severe mental illness work at regular jobs of their own choosing. A supported employment specialist works in collaboration as a team to help that person seek the job that they're finding. A plan is created to identify the specific job, and support is provided for that person. The grant project provides assistance with resume building, interviewing skills, as well as on-the-job training. A supported specialist provides frequent, regular contact with the person and the employer to ensure the job and the tasks assigned go smoothly. Employers from our community are crucial to the success of this project and in providing positions where individuals who have a severe mental illness can succeed and thrive. The businesses who do participate are eligible for a federal work opportunity tax credit, and this promotes the hiring of individuals in our community with a disability and provides an incentive for employers. Currently, our grant is just serving Pulaski County, but we hope to expand into surrounding counties in the future. We have supported employment staff here today that can answer your questions and provide information about the program itself and working with severe mentally ill. If you're interested in a business who'd like to tap into the eligibility for the work credit, you can talk with our Adonta staff today, and they're here on a booth right over to the right. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Kelly. I appreciate that. So normally, at this point, this is where I turn the program over to the president of our chamber. And our new president for 2014 is State Senator Chris Girdler. Senator Girdler is doing the people's work right now in Frankfort, as he is a legislator and the session is currently in. And he called me this morning to let me know that he would not be here because there are actually 2 bills pertaining to tourism and business initiatives he has sponsored that he is going to be discussing on the floor of the Senate today. So I think that we're going to give him a mulligan. We're going to let him, he can come to next month's luncheon and he can introduce everybody. But he's doing a great job for us, and we've got a great person. Our first vice president of the chamber, which will be our president of the chamber in 2015, Miss Megan Dameron, is going to fill in, and she's going to do a fabulous job. So let's give Megan a warm round of applause.
Good afternoon and welcome. In Chris's absence, as Bobby mentioned, I'd like to call this meeting to order and again welcome all of our guests, our public officials, their representatives, and certainly all of our members. We want to give a big thank you to our chamber sponsors for their commitment. Our world-class sponsors, as listed over on the wall: Prairie Farms, Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital, Citizens National Bank, Hinkle Contracting, Pulaski County Government, Cumberland Lake Shell, Alton Blakely Family of Dealerships, First and Farmers National Bank, The Job Shop, Via Media, and our newest world-class sponsor, South Kentucky RECC. Our Chairman Circle sponsors are BB&T, Fort Bank, Evans Harville Atwell and Company CPAs, Ready Mix Concrete, Blackboard Student Services, East Kentucky Power, and our newest Chairman Circle sponsor, Cumberland Security Bank. Ambassador Circle sponsors: Reed Brothers Insurance, Modern Vending, Eagle Realty, Hendrickson International, Community Trust Bank, Cumberland Valley National Bank, and Somerset Hardwood Flooring. Again, thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Without them, we would not be able to put on great events like this. If anyone is interested in becoming a sponsor, please feel free to contact the chamber and we can get that information for you. I'd also like to give a special thank you to the Center for Rural Development for providing this space for us to meet, and also to Schaefer's Catering for the meal that they're providing. As you know, our chamber ambassadors are the backbone of this organization and put in many, many volunteer hours for the chamber. If you are a chamber ambassador, will you please stand and be recognized? Each month, one ambassador is recognized for exceptional support for the Chamber. The ambassador for the month of January was also the 2013 Ambassador of the Year. Randy Berry, if you'll please come forward. Randy is the owner of Concord Custom Cleaners. Thank you so much, Randy.
It's my pleasure to recognize our new members. And as I read off the name of the company, if there's any representatives here, we would please stand up. The first new member is Camp Jabez on the Cumberland, Denise Gendrolis. Kurt Davis Law Office, Sue Ann Parmley. Fetal Photography of Lake Cumberland, Sherry Dick and Rebecca Johnson. JBK Incorporated Roofing Division, Brandon Keck in the back. La Fiesta Grande, Elpidio Escobar. Phil's Way to eBay and Prepaid, Philip Gilmore. Specialized Alternatives for Family and Youth, Terry Gunn. And the Highlands, Ashley Stamper. So if we can give them a hand. And thank you to all the new members for supporting the Chamber.
Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Erin Wilkerson, and I am the RN Administrator for MedPlus Staffing, which is a sister company of the Job Shop. They've actually given us this opportunity to come out and tell you all what services we provide, a little bit about our company, and exactly what we can do for you and your company. MedPlus is a medical staffing agency specializing in the placement of registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, certified nurses assistants, and certified medical assistants. MedPlus is an independently owned company that's been serving Kentucky and Tennessee since 1997. Our vision is to ensure the highest quality in healthcare service with personnel who exemplify professionalism, dedication, versatility, and dependability. Some of our strengths are we are licensed by the state of Kentucky, we are deficiency-free, and we are Joint Commission certified, HIPAA and OSHA compliant. We have a full-time risk management department, and we have a full-time RN administrator that is available to our staff at any time of the day or night. We provide top talent in hospitals, home health, occupational health, health departments, nursing homes, schools, and clinics. Some of these are new to the staffing agency simply because the changes in the healthcare reform has opened up opportunities for our agency and for our staff. We now supply nurses to several local factories, and in that we can actually save them money. A lot of business owners frown upon workman's comp insurance, workman's comp accidents. What we can do is we can actually supply you with a nurse in your facility that can assess these injuries, see if they need to be seen by a physician, or treat the medical injury and send them back to the job, which actually in turn will save your business a lot of money in the end. We also are providing school nurses throughout Pulaski County. We've been able to do that. We've been able to supply those schools with nurses and make it cost efficient for them, because before that they were actually going to get rid of their nurses and the children would not have one. Our competency levels that we provide, we have specialty nurses and we have nurses who do med-surg only. We do require our nurses to have at least 2 years experience in a specialty before we allow them out in the field to perform any kind of medical care. If you're a med-surg nurse, we welcome all med-surg nurses. You only have to have a year of experience to work in that field. We service ICU, cardiovascular units, neurology units, pediatric units, med-surg, emergency departments, telemetry, postpartum, ambulatory, and we also service step-down units throughout different clinics. We actually do an extensive screening process with all of our employees. Our candidates must ensure us that they have competency, they are dependable, and experienced healthcare professionals. And all of our candidates must complete an interview with either myself or our staffing specialist in the office. We do drug screens on all of our employees, pre, post, and random. We do competency evaluations and safety trainings. We do credentialing, including extensive background checks, health screening. We verify all of their skills. We do competency evaluations, and we also utilize E-Verify and perform several reference checks. One of the things about our office that is very, very supportive is the fact that we're open 24/7. Our office doors may not be open, but we have an on-call specialist who constantly has an on-call phone that we can help you out at your time of need. If you have someone call in, if you have a snow day, if you have FMLA, medical leave, whatever your need might be, you can call us at the office. If we're close to the office, we have an on-call phone, and we'll get you a nurse right away to come in and help you out with your coverage that you have. We do perform 12-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts. We have weekly contracts. We cover medical leave, like I said, FMLA. Basically, we work for your company. You tell us what you need, what your needs are, how many nurses you need, how many aides you need, whatever it might be, and we'll provide that for you. We do use API Healthcare, which is some of the most updated software. It's an innovative web-based solution that automates the process of identifying, qualifying, matching, bill payment, and managing temporary medical professionals. Clients are able to request needs, complete online evaluations, view calendars, invoices, all from the comfort of their own desk. Ergo is, in all cases, that we will either have your order filled or that we will provide you with a progress report of each assignment, and we'll get it filled as quickly as possible so that we can cover the needs that you might have. We do have a full-time risk management team. That staff is constantly focusing on loss prevention and loss control. And one of our biggest kicks is I like to tell people how we can save your company money. When choosing to use our professional healthcare staff, we take care of all of the overhead. MedPlus saves your facility the cost of payroll, insurance, including workman's compensation, healthcare, dental, vision, life, disability, and malpractice, recruiting costs, non-productivity costs such as payroll tax, shift diff, overtime, holiday pay, PTO, bonuses, and pension contribution. We also cover the cost of training, advertising, health screening, and continuing education for our employees, just to name a few. You get quality patient care without any overhead charges, and your facility is only responsible for the hourly rate. With the changes in healthcare, our hourly rate is actually lower than the total labor costs for the same full-time employee. Why should you choose MedPlus? We believe that that choice is clear. We have access to top talent in the marketplace, and we only provide you with the best employees possible, flexibility, and we're very cost efficient. The use of MedPlus Healthcare Staffing can save your facility money in 2014. I appreciate the opportunity to stand up and let you know what services we can provide for your companies. If you all have any questions or you would like to speak with me further, I have my business card down here on the table, and call our office, and I'll be more than happy to set up a meeting and get you a nurse or a healthcare professional to your facility. Thank you.
Our speaker today is Dr. Michael Brinson, who is the president of East Kentucky University, a position he assumed August 1st, 2013. Born in Salt Lake City and raised in Texas, Dr. Benson has nearly 20 years of administrative experience in higher education. Dr. Benson completed his doctorate in modern Middle East history from the University of Oxford, St. Anthony's College. He also earned a master's degree from the Mendozana College of Business at the University of Notre Dame in a nonprofit administration, and a BA from Brigham Young University with a major in political science and a double minor in English and history. Dr. Benson is described as EKU's next great visionary leader. He maintains a distinguished record of success as an innovative executive who is very well recognized and respected among his peers and colleagues. He has devoted himself to students and their academic success and is a proven financial manager who is focused on developing and sustaining political and external support for EKU. Dr. Benson and his wife, Debbie, have 3 young children, and he is also the father of 2 older children. Please welcome Dr. Benson.
Good afternoon. It's great to be with you. Thank you very much for the invitation. I was talking to my colleague David McFadden. We were here just a few months ago in the fall for the Excellence in Entrepreneurship Award, and it's always wonderful to come back to this beautiful facility. As fate would have it, my kind of church affiliation brings me to Somerset every other week, so I feel like I've gotten to know your community quite well, and I enjoy every time when I come here, and appreciate the warm welcome today. I want to introduce some friends that I brought with me, and also friends from at our table. First, if they would stand up when I introduce them, Terry Hardwork, who is the director of our campus here in Somerset. Michelle Allen, who is our outreach agent, and Sarah Hainsford, who is our student ambassador, who is an EKU student. She's a major in biology and will graduate in August, and we're very proud of Sarah. I'm joined also by David McFadden, who is our executive director of government relations and our regional campuses. David is no stranger to this part of Kentucky from Johnson County. I've learned in my short time how important counties are in Kentucky. But David and I have spent a lot of time out in the region, and I want to tell you how much I've enjoyed getting to know this part of the Commonwealth. And then Matt Rowan is a UK law grad, but a native of Virginia, was a student of mine at Southern Utah University, an attorney, and has joined our team in Richmond. I'm sorry Senator Girdler couldn't be here today. He's become a good friend, and you're really fortunate to have really very able leadership in the legislature. I've gotten to know a lot of these individuals, and regardless of your political affiliation, I think all of us owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to these people who voluntarily run for office, whether it's the school board or the city commission or even the state legislature, and take time away from their families and their interests and their occupations and represent us. So I want to especially thank Senator Girdler and also Representative Tommy Turner, both of whom, of course, are from here. You have other representatives that represent this county, Representative Hoover, Representative Meade, Representative Mills, and Representative Upchurch. And to a person, I really have come to appreciate what they do here for all of us. I would also be remiss if right here in this building that Representative Congressman Hal Rogers helped construct and fund. I've gotten to know Hal through SOAR and through some other endeavors, and we are so incredibly fortunate to have someone of Hal's stature and ability and acumen representing our interests in Washington, D.C., and who has never forgotten his roots. I really appreciate that Hal is, he's a native, I know, of this part of the Commonwealth, and he loves it. And there's a reason he spends so much time here, because he and Cynthia do love it so much. Cynthia, by the way, was on our board at Eastern Kentucky before I arrived, and she's every bit his equal. I know I'm speaking to the choir here, because you all, I know, know Hal and Cynthia very well. But anyway, I'm delighted to have this chance today. Just like Hal says, you have to plan your work and work your plan. I, by nature, am hardwired to be an optimist. I see the world full of opportunity. And sure, there are challenges around us. Charles Dickens wrote about the best of times and the worst of times. There's a presidential historian that I use often in the class that I'm teaching right now on campus. His name is James David Barber. And Professor Barber once went to church, and he picked up the church bulletin. And on the back of this bulletin was listed all the events that were going on that particular week at his congregation. On Monday was the substance abuse group. Tuesday, the battered spouse group was meeting. Wednesday, the seminar on violence. Thursday was the single parent support group. Friday was a lecture on controlling anger. Saturday was a group to help teens just say no. And the Sunday sermon was the joys of a bright and glorious future. So I think we do have all sorts of opportunities around us, and I'm so delighted that I have a chance to work at a place like Eastern Kentucky University, which has been around from 1874, which was kind of an informal founding, to 1906. I want to read you a statement from a president of a very prestigious university in the eastern part of the United States, Johns Hopkins, who said this. He said, "The role of the academy, or the university, should make for less misery among the poor, less ignorance in the schools, less suffering in the hospital, less fraud in business, and less folly in politics." And that statement was made in 1879. And we certainly hope that we're doing our part to make contributions and to produce graduates who will go into their respective fields and make a difference. I tell our students all the time, they represent an incredibly minuscule segment of the population to have the chance to go to college. And with that opportunity comes tremendous responsibility. Not just to get a degree and to be called this or that, or have a master's or a doctorate and go around calling each other doctor. That's all fine and good, but to use that knowledge for the betterment of society. I wanted to give you a few stats about your county and how you are participating in higher education and how we're trying to help at Eastern Kentucky. Our current student enrollment, including Sarah, from Pulaski County, as of this last fall, we have 393 students from your county. The current enrollment at the Somerset campus is 90 students. This is as of the fall as well. This is the ranking of the high schools in terms of the feeder schools for our freshman class. Where are the high schools where we get the most students? Somerset High School, the overall rank was number 3 with an enrollment of 135 new freshmen. Southwestern High School, the overall ranking of 5 with an enrollment of 101. And Pulaski came in at the 6th most highly subscribed high school for our freshmen with 87. The total number of alumni living in Somerset and Pulaski counties are 3,499 in Pulaski and 2,778 alumni in Somerset. If I could have all the EKU alumni, please raise your hands. How about that? Congratulations. We're very proud of you, and I hope you're proud of your alma mater. And my job as president and my administration is to add luster to that degree that I hope is proudly displayed somewhere in your home or your office, that when you look at it, you'll say, I am proud of the education I got at Eastern Kentucky. There are some chances, too, to promote worthwhile community-based projects because there is funding available. And I wanted to tell you just about a couple of those ways that you can pursue that funding. Pulaski County is among our service region and is a county that's eligible for some of this funding. I'm talking about the Center for Appalachian Regional Engagement. And we invite proposals for one of 5 $10,000 CARES community grants. So if you're interested, I'd encourage you to contact Carrie Adkins. I'd be happy to provide her contact information at the end of our session today. But those proposals are due the 1st of March, and the winners will be announced in May. But this is an example of funding, seed funding, if you will, that's in place to try and make a difference in some of the projects that you have going. In the short time that I've been here, and I had a chance to speak to graduation back in December, there are 3 things that really stand out. As I mentioned one before, the importance of counties, 120 in a relatively small geographic state. We came to find out that my wife's great-great-grandfather, on both her mom's and dad's side, were born in Kentucky, one in Hart County and one in Bracken County. Both made their way west, but they got their start right here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I've also come to appreciate that basketball is really important and that AIL-8 is a 8th wonder of the world, or it should be at least. We've really come to love AIL-8. I've also recognized that this is a state that values higher education. I have never, in my experience in higher ed, and I've been in public higher ed for almost 25 years now, seen in our neighborhood, for example, in Madison County, and if you add Fayette County to our north, you have a major Research One university. You have a very significant public comprehensive regional university, Eastern Kentucky. You have 2 outstanding, relatively small private colleges, Center College, and of course just down the road from us, Berea College, which, as we celebrated the Martin Luther King holiday recently, I went back and read a little more history about Madison County. And Berea College was, for its time, an incredibly bold, kind of daring community, in the sense that it was a completely desegregated environment at the college. And as you know, they got into trouble. People didn't like that. Some people didn't like that. We, of course, have a robust community college system. I don't think I've ever seen one nearly as expansive and active as the one here at KCTCS in the Commonwealth. And the beauty of a system like this is that there are points of entry for any student that has any particular interest. The beauty of higher ed for me is that you can take someone who loves the liberal arts like I do and majored in modern Middle Eastern history. When I told my parents I was going to forego law school and do a doctorate in Middle Eastern history, there was this long pause on the phone from my dad who said, "Michael, what on earth are you going to do with that?" And I said, "I don't know, Dad, but that's my passion in life." And I lived in the Middle East for about a year and a half, and I loved it. And my training taught me how to write and to communicate and to reason, all skills that regardless of what you go into, are skills that are I think, transportable and adaptable to any particular circumstance. That's what I chose to do. If I were to ask you what you do, some of you are in sales, some of you are in advertising and marketing, engineering, manufacturing. The beauty of the community college system in Kentucky and of our university system is that regardless of what you want to do, there's a chance for you to have that point of entry. And that if you will avail yourself of that opportunity, the sky's the limit. At graduation in December, I asked all the first-generation graduates to stand up. And at times we may get a little jaded with our jobs. We may say, well, you know, I have to go to work again today. I never feel that way about my employment because every day I'm around people, these young people who are at this pivot point in their lives. And our task is to try and influence them in some positive direction. Sarah right here is a biology major. But as I was talking to her, she wants to go into school psychology. That's her passion. And when I asked the first generation college graduates to stand up, over half of our graduating class in December stood up. And that was one of the most inspiring sights I think I've ever seen. And then to have the families of these graduates applaud and give the standing ovation to their son or daughter or grandson, granddaughter, niece or nephew was incredibly inspiring. I've been impressed by the governor's emphasis on higher education. True, when his budget came out, it did include a small cut for a lot of agencies, and higher ed, unfortunately, was not spared from those proposed cuts. But that was tempered somewhat in a really aggressive capital investment, over $720 million for capital projects on campuses throughout the Commonwealth, and another, what was it, David? No, 700 in bonding approval, and 520 in capital, 520 million in capital investment from the state. Public education, K through 12, is certainly an emphasis of this governor, and we'd like to see a seamless emphasis on K through 16, on making sure those students that when they arrive on our campus are ready for college work, that there's not a lot of remediation that needs to take place, that in point of fact these students are ready to come to college and to get after it. I remember my first time I went to an advisor as an undergrad. This advisor had a little statement on her wall, and it said, "Yes, it's hard, it's college, it's supposed to be hard." There is a certain kind of expectation when a student sets foot on our campus that they're not going to maybe get coddled like they have been in the past. I found out with weather here that's somewhat intemperate at times. I joke with some people that American college students are the only group of consumers in this country that want less for their money, in the sense that they like snow days and they don't want a whole lot of work, and maybe, you know, if I could just maybe slide by in this stats class. But that's not what it's about. It's about having that opportunity and taking advantage of it and doing the most you can with it. I want to give you just, in the last few minutes that I have, just a few kind of highlights of what's going on our campus that has kind of collateral impact on this area. The first is that in conjunction with Kentucky Highlands and Jerry Ricketts, who is he from here? You may have heard about this, the Southeastern Kentucky Promise Zone, an initiative that came out of the White House, and Eastern Kentucky, along with Berea College, were named as the two of the three higher ed partners in that project. This is looking to implement sustainable economic development effort across the 8 counties. I mentioned SOAR, Shaping Our Appalachian Region. We've been a part of that conversation. We're building right now. You may say, well, SOAR was a bunch of talk, and they've done that for a long time. I've seen from the discussion in December some real tangible evidences of what is coming from that conversation. One of which is that we're building at EKU a website which will have the SOAR name and maybe URL, but it'll be kind of a one-stop shop. So regardless of what course it is, or a certificate program, an associate's, a bachelor's degree, even a doctorate, you can come on that website, and it's going to give you all the information with all the links that you'll need, regardless of the school. It'll be hosted by Eastern Kentucky University, but we'll put up there everything from KCTCS to University of the Cumberlands to Berea to EKU to UK, whatever it is that you're interested in. Someone can come to that site and know exactly what educational opportunities are out there. We have some pretty significant construction programs or projects that we're undertaking right now on our campus. One of which is our new science building. You've heard a lot of emphasis in this day and age on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And while as a liberal arts major and a kind of a devotee of that particular field of study, I recognized immediately that the jobs are not so much in Russian literature as they are in applied engineering or any number of the STEM fields, allied health, where we're putting a lot of emphasis. This new science building is designed to fit into Phase 1, which was constructed just a few years ago. This is a $63 million project. And think of all the impact that's going to have on the construction industry, on the trade industry, the people that's going to employ. EKU has been known as the campus beautiful, and it is beautiful. The ravine is one of those unique elements that I've never seen on any other campus, but it does need some attention. We have some deferred maintenance issues, and just today I prepared a memo for campus outlining some of these that are in dire need of attention. Our new dormitory was the first new dorm in, I think, 40 years. Our first new dormitory in 40 years. And if you've paid attention to what UK is doing, they've come up with a financial model where they lease to a private company. The private company comes in, builds brand new dorms. They have a very long-term lease with this company, but they're putting up about $550 million worth of new residence halls. That model won't quite work for us, so we're going a different direction, but we are improving our living spaces on campus. We found that these living, learning communities are so vital to a student's success, particularly for freshmen. The retention rates and graduation rates for freshmen that have a good experience their freshman year on campus makes all the difference. Any of you heard of Earl Combs? Anybody heard of Earl Combs? Right here. What did Earl Combs do? Hall of Famer. Not every day you have a citizen of Richmond, Kentucky, that was the leadoff batter for the New York Yankees. A couple of guys you may have heard of batted behind him, Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. He is inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, and he was a member of our Board of Regents for 12 years. We have a dormitory named for him, and unfortunately this dorm, like some of our other ones, is kind of past its useful life. So we're going to tear it down this summer and build a kind of a new gateway into campus where Barnes Mill hits Lancaster, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with Richmond, if not all of you. But we're also raising funds to build a new baseball stadium and name it for Earl Combs as a way to pay tribute to a man that arguably was one of the finest baseball players of his generation and a native son of Richmond. We're also in the process of building, for the first time ever in our history, a parking structure. You may say, wow, isn't that cool? You're going to build a parking deck. But it really is cool because we've never had one, and we need one desperately. And we're going to face it with brick, and we're going to make it fit into campus, but it's going to go where Case Hall and Case Annex are right now, next to the Keene Johnson building. We're improving our athletic facilities, and you may say, well, why is he talking about athletics? That's not important. We're an educational institution. It is important because in many respects, athletics is that front porch to a campus, and it's the way that you draw people onto a campus that otherwise may not come on to onto EKU's campus. And so we have to improve Roy Kidd Stadium and Alumni Coliseum and even build some new tennis courts. So these are all things that we're trying to do to improve the look and feel and the utility of our campus. Finally, right there on the corner of the bypass in Lancaster, if you're familiar with that part of Richmond, is the model school. And I have, as was mentioned, 3 children, 2 of whom go to model. And I dropped them off today. That's the highlight of my day, is taking my kids to school. And one is 6 and one is 5. And Model was built in 1960 as a laboratory school. And it's the only one of its kind left in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. One of the few left in the entire United States. And it's in desperate need of replacement. And it's not just for the 700 plus kids that go there. We envision tying the model school into our College of Education and using it as the name suggests, a model. So teachers that need to come back and recertify, that are in the K-12 system, regardless of where they are in the state, we see this as a place where they can come and get that recertification. They can learn the latest pedagogy and technology and teaching methods. They can take, as they say, from bench to bedside. It's in effect going to be a teaching hospital. And our kids in a very literal way will be the lab rats. They'll have the chance to learn directly from these education students the latest teaching methods. And I think it's terribly exciting, and it's starting to get a lot of momentum and gain some real support across the state. The last thing I'll say is I want to acknowledge the role that chambers play. We had a chance, David McFadden is the chair of our local chamber in Richmond, and I spoke to that chamber just a few months ago, and we were the first to step up. The university was as, I think, a platinum sponsor. It's a new level that they never had before. It's money, and it's from our institutional funds, but it was more important as a symbolic gesture that the university recognizes the absolute irreplaceable role of a chamber like ours, and I would argue the same for your community. You are the business people. You're the ones that keep the doors open and make payroll and improve people's lives. And there has to be this, I would argue, this happy union between an institution like EKU and chambers of commerce. Throughout the state, local businesses, I know, rely a great deal on the universities to provide graduates and those that are trained for their jobs that are in the most acute need. I look forward to even closer business relationships with this chamber. If there's anything I can do at EKU, I hope you'll let me know.
Thank you, Dr. Benson, for being with us today. As a token of our appreciation, we have a Mountain Workshop pictorial book of our community for you. So thank you so much, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate our February Ambassador of the Month, owner of Concord Custom Cleaners, Mr. Randy Berry. Please join us for our upcoming calendar of events. If you would like to be an official sponsor of the Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce Luncheon Spotlight or become a member, we would love to have you. Please contact myself or via media.
Thank you to our world-class sponsors. Thank you to our Chairman's Circle sponsors. Thank you to our Ambassador Circle sponsors.
The Center for Rural Development for hosting today's luncheon, and Schaefer's Catering for the wonderful food for today's event. Thank you very much for tuning in today for our Chamber of Commerce Luncheon Spotlight. Don't forget to tune in every month on Channel 8 and 19 and get all the great information about our Chamber of Commerce.